Poodly do. Go, gogs.
Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. It is August. That's right, all pigs, all the time. And we
Yes.
got to watch a French movie with a pig on the cover called Delicatessen. Deli for short.
With some of the most French, it's a French movie with the most French looking cast you can ever imagine.
This
Oh my
cast is
Has
so
there-
French.
Has there ever been an uglier leading man in any movie ever?
I love that actor. He's been in a ton of movies, but like, yeah, he is like the most French person I've ever seen in my life. Like,
And like, he is like, he's great in it. He's fun. He's like Charlie Chaplin, kind of like
He's
just
really good.
caricature.
Yeah.
But like, everyone's French as fuck. It's in this bizarre post-apocalypse where there's aliens and shit. There's sewer dwellers. The movie is legit bananas.
It is a farce. It is a farcical, whimsical film. It is very,
The
very
most whimsical apocalypse I've ever seen.
yeah. For like when you boil it down to like what the movie's actually about, it's kind of dark, but like it's told in such a way.
Dark.
It's told in such a way where it's like kind of not. It's kind of like silly and charming.
Right. It's like if Dr. Seuss had to write a book about cannibalism.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know.
But yeah, we watched Delicatessen. And I can't ever remember the guy's name that directed it, but Jean something something something.
Oh,
he has
damn.
he has a very, very French name.
Their lentil-based economy.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Actually, so the guy, the main character,
Jeunet. When you say with the T's in French, you're like
the T's don't exist in France.
So it's Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
I would assume
Jeunet.
Alec, you were just in Greece. That's close.
They speak French in Greece, right?
What do you think?
About his name?
Yeah, how do you
about the
pronounce his
silent
name?
T situation.
I'm looking at
The French don't really do silent T's, do they?
I think that
Like
isn't that the whole thing?
Pinot Noir is not Pinot Noir.
That's true.
As
But
well
baguette
as
is
filet.
baguette is not baguette.
And filet and Monet and
Hold on, I got a YouTube clip.
Menage
right
a Trois. That's the only T I can think of.
And we are looking at how to pronounce the name of famous French director who is responsible
Oh my God,
for
just say it.
directing such famous movies.
Okay,
It's
Amelie.
Turkey,
We know that.
the city of the Lost.
Oh my
So
God.
how do you go about pronouncing the name of this French director, movie director,
Just
cinema
say it.
director, Jean-Pierre Jeunet?
Hey, I was right.
At the end of
Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
That sounded like Taika Waititi doing a French accent.
I think he speaks French, actually.
That makes sense. He seems like a learned man.
Yeah. All right. Well, what'd you guys watch this week? Alec. Oh, no Sean this week. He's, sucking his dad's dick.
Something bad.
Going back to the classics. Classics and classics for a reason, Alec.
Sean's dad's insatiable.
Oh my God.
And no, he doesn't even want it. It's Sean.
I know.
Sean's
Oh
insatiable.
wow. Sean's sensational.
Wow, that's a
Damn.
plot twist.
It's a whole, like, what's wrong with the Robinsons kind of situation.
I watched, I'm trying to get a count in my head. 1, 2,
Oh no.
3
Reeve?
and a half things. We watched Observe and Report,
Man, I haven't
which
watched
I've
that in
I've
ages.
seen before. That movie it's so fucked up and so good though.
Yeah, it's great.
Turn it
And
takes
it's a
right
real,
in the third
like-
act.
It's got a lot of turns and a lot of twists. Some that don't necessarily pan out to anything, but they're still good. Like when he beats the shit out of Danny McBride's whole crew
Yeah.
and drags the kid to the police station. And, what's the cop's name? Ray Liotta. What the fuck?
Oh yeah.
I dropped you up there to get killed. Not to beat everybody up. That movie's tremendous though. I think it's really, this is the second time I've seen it, and I think probably in less than a year. The first time I saw it wasn't that long ago, but it's like a really, I don't know if it's intended this way, because I don't know how deep of a director Jody Hill is, aside from, like, his comedy's pretty thick.
Right.
But it's like a really interesting commentary on, like, mental health.
Yeah, I never really thought about it that
Which,
way.
like,
But
the
yeah,
first time I watched it, I didn't think about that at all. Because, like, it's just watching Seth Rogen be absolutely like, clueless as to what's actually going on in the world. But then, like so many people, it seems like you hear about, like, he has a couple of good things happen, and he's like, my life was turned around, now I don't need my meds. And then he
yeah,
immediately falls off a cliff, and it ends up kind of working out at the end, but it's just going fucking
kinda.
insane.
Yeah, yeah,
That whole third act is just fucking
yeah,
wild as shit.
kinda.
I mean, he gets his job back, and he gets
True.
the
Yeah,
girl, not the girl he wanted, but the girl he needed.
the better girl anyway.
The girl
Yeah.
he deserved.
Because the girl he
Yeah.
wanted was kind of shitty.
Oh yeah, she was a piece of shit.
I still, like, one day I'm going to ask Jody Hill if he ever does an AMA. I still think at the very end they were originally going to kill that guy. At the very end, like the
When he
pervert.
shoots?
Like, yeah, I feel like it's weird that he doesn't die. I feel like the scene is set up for him to die, and they changed it at the last minute. But
Observer Report, really good. Really,
underrated. Like, no one
yeah.
really talks about that movie.
But does anybody really talk about any Jody Hill movies?
Yeah,
Not really.
that's true. Not just us.
His TV shows get more acclaim than his movies.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Was that Michael Pena's first real break onto the scene?
I'm not sure.
He was in other stuff, but that was definitely a big role.
He's great in it too. And then he sends that postcard from Mexico at the end, and it's all like apologetic and heartfelt, and you're like, oh, he really did love, like, he wasn't just using him, he really did love, like, Seth Rogen's character as, like, a brother.
Rules.
That movie's fucking tremendous stuff. Like, all Jody Hill shit that I've seen is good. Like, The Foot Fist Way was pretty good.
Oh yeah, I like everything.
I never saw the one with Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, Youth in Revolt. I love that movie.
No, not Youth in Revolt. Jesse Eisenberg, not Michael Cera.
Oh,
the other karate movie.
Yeah, that was him, wasn't it? Or was that somebody else?
No, that's somebody else.
Maybe you guys compared it to Foot Fist Way.
It's similar. Yeah, it's very similar to that.
But
You're thinking of Art of Self-Defense.
Yeah, that's it. Foot Fist Way is very good. Or I'm dragging it what else he's directed, but his shows are really good too. Like, Jody Hill's a hell of a
Did he do a lot of Eastbound and Down?
And
yeah,
he
executive produced and co-created it.
I also get Jody Hill confused with the Napoleon Dynamite guy, Jared Hess.
Jared Hess.
I get them mixed up sometimes. They get the same initials, JH. Huh. Interesting.
I see that.
Jody Hill has a lot to do with, I know he produces and I think he's directed a few episodes. He actually acts in that too. He's in, The Mighty Gemstones.
Oh, looking at him now, he's actually, I like, don't think I knew what he looked like, but he's in a lot of, like, now that I see his face, like, I recognize him. Like, he's in Foot Fist Way. I just don't think I ever really knew what he looked like.
Guys, if you haven't seen the Righteous Gemstones, like, you need to get on that.
Yeah,
I got through.
That's one of the best fucking shows out there right now.
Liz and I watched the first episode and we really enjoyed it. And then is it the end of the first or the second one where they commit vehicular, maybe manslaughter, possibly just assault? And
that's the end of the first one, and they just keep going in circles, and they keep driving in circles in the parking lot over and over.
That got a little too dark for Liz, so I need to just revisit that on my own.
Tell her to get through it. Like, okay. I think she would love the show. Because it has some dark moments, but that's probably about about the most brutal I can think of.
I was about to say Liz doesn't do well with dark moments, but she's rewatching Game of Thrones as a comfort show. So, like, what are we doing? Like, she watches The Wire for a comfort show. I think when she knows what's going to happen, I keep
watching House of Dragons.
This.
Did you watch House of Dragons yet?
I have not.
It's pretty good.
I've not watched any House of Dragons.
You watch it. It's pretty good.
No, they lost me on Game of Thrones now just because of how they ended.
They fumbled the bag, as the kids would say.
Yeah.
Real bad. Like, you couldn't have fumbled a bag any worse. Like, it's literally like.
I don't disagree.
The books are not coming out anymore, right? Like, that's like,
I don't think.
Yeah, I don't. If they come out, they're gonna be finished by somebody else. I bet you he dies, and all 3 books come out within like 2 years.
Or they'll do
gonna crank the shit out of the rest.
They'll do what Brian Herbert did after Frank Herbert died, and he'll like instead of because I think right now he's saying it's gonna be 2 more books, but he'll die, and they'll be like, oh, it'll be 5 more books. It's from his notes. Like they'll just stretch it out and out and out.
The note just like dragons in space? Question mark. Game of Thrones 2099.
Just let Brian Herbert pick it up and let him run with it. Fuck it.
Oh, God. I'm kind of pissed off because there's a Dune TV show that's coming out. Dune Prophecy, and I was like, cool, a Dune TV show takes place in the same, cinematic universe as the movies, but it's based on Sisterhood of Dune, which is a Brian Herbert book, and I'm like, oh no. Like it's gonna be bad.
Last night we rewatched Cocaine Bear.
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah, I remember you saying you liked that one, I think.
That movie's a blast. That movie's a ton of fun. It's so fucking gory.
It's a good time.
But it's wacky fun, like, the whole time. Like, this bear is tremendous. He's a tremendous actor. People get ripped to shreds. Like, it's very graphic, like, gory. It's really good. It's really fun. Directed by Elizabeth Banks, who I think she made bank with that movie, which disproves her own theory that people won't go see movies directed by women. They just want movies about bears on cocaine.
That is true.
Like, that's all we need. Just finished a movie called The Skeleton Twins.
Skeleton Twins!
Kristen Wiig and Bill Hader and Luke Wilson's in it.
I like all those people.
Yeah. It's a dark comedy.
Is it new?
Super funny. No, it's like 10 years old. It's not super funny, but it's got funny moments. Bill Hader is estranged from his family kind of, and he attempts suicide and fails, and his sister comes and gets him and brings him home to kind of keep an eye on him and heal him. And he moves in with her husband, who is Luke Wilson, and hijinks ensue, kind of. It was pretty good. It wasn't.
I love Bill Hader. I love Kristen.
Bill Hader's one of my favorites.
Where did you watch this film?
I actually watched it on a new movie app that I had to download today because the Plex wasn't working. I couldn't watch Delicatessen. This app is called. Oh shit! Hold on, let me pull it up. Dude, the only place where it was free.
Jackflix.
It's called Hoopla. It's another library app where you can attach your library card and then read all kinds of movies and shit.
We should start a movie app called MacGuffin. Is there one called MacGuffin?
No, but that's the name of the bar at AMC. It's called MacGuffins.
Damn it. Just hilarious. Great, A+ AMC. Nicole Kidman did a great job.
Oh yeah, Nicole Kidman is so smart. So good at marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I watched, I'm like 2/3 of the way through Deadpool vs. Wolverine. We found this site to stream it on.
Oh yeah.
But the stream only lasts for so long and then it craps out. So I've been watching it in like chunks.
What's the video quality look like?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but like I've seen worse.
Yeah.
So I pulled up, watched it on my phone, and cast it to my TV. But
Nice. Yeah.
in like 3 sittings, I'm probably 2/3 of the way through. I don't know what happens to the feed, but eventually every time the feed just kind of stops.
I appreciate you taking up the Gogs mantle of watching movies like a quarter at a time.
Challenging yourself.
It wasn't by choice. I tried to watch it all at once.
Yeah.
But so far I like it.
I've heard good things. TJ's the only one that's been
oh my God,
dunking on it thus far.
First of all, did I really dunk on it?
You said it sucked shit.
I just didn't I didn't love it. Okay, I just think it's kind of a mess.
You called it.
I didn't even say it was bad. I just said it was like I just didn't think it was amazing. That's all.
You said it was a tragic misappropriation.
No, if you want to hear about tragic misappropriations, I have a movie for you that I'm going to talk about here momentarily. So
that's a dovetail.
Yeah,
I'll report on the full movie by next week, hopefully. But so far I think it's pretty fun. It's not my favorite by any chance, and like he's leaning into the fourth wall stuff way too much. Like in the first 2 movies, like he talked to the camera sometimes, like that's fine, but like everything in this movie is
it's like
wall.
every scene. Yeah, that's
like
one of
it's
my
like
yeah.
And in the first 2 movies, he does it. It kind of. Did both movies start with like those long flashbacks?
Yeah.
That are almost like 20 minutes long, and this one does too. But even once that flashback is like done, like in the other movies, when you're caught up to date, kind of, he doesn't really do it as much. But so far, this one, he's still constantly like,
oh yeah, it never
constantly like looking right at you, basically. But like their chemistry together, the 2 of them, is absolutely out of this world. Like they have such good chemistry. Logan and Deadpool, it's phenomenal. Right now, I'm at the point where they're in, whatever that place is called, the Netherworld or whatever.
Limbo or whatever. Yeah.
They just met the other team.
Oh, right, yeah. That part's fun. That scene's fun.
And they're trying to convince them to go to war with them. The scene with, where the guy got his skin ripped off was fucking disgusting.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Like, it's really funny, but like...
It has its moments. The movie is not, again, it's not bad. I just didn't, it's not like people are saying it's like a 10 out of 10. I'm like, no, I don't know. I think if I watch it a second time at home, I'll probably like it more.
Would you have enjoyed it more watching it with
shit! Sean!
Oh, shit!
Oh,
we got a wild Sean has appeared.
What up? Just here wilding.
Do you have a ward of the state joining us for the podcast?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, I just brought him with me so he could hear about French cinema.
Isn't it weird that Robin in the TV show is played by Burt Ward?
Right? I always thought that was a little on the nose.
I'm sure that's why they did it.
If his name
anything
was
else?
Bird Ward, it would have been better.
It was Bird Ward? Not to be confused with Bird War, which is the premise of Owls of Gahul.
Shout out to Bird War.
No, I got nothing else. TJ.
Thank you. I watched one giant piece of crap and one movie that I thought was pretty good. In other words, I watched 2 things.
Two things?
Thank you. First off, I watched Borderlands. I just wanted to. Alex usually good with like fast trivia about movies, but I saw this as we started, and I had to say this. This headline: Borderlands on track to be the biggest bomb in cinema history. $110 million budget. $110 million budget versus a $4 million opening box office.
Oh no.
Their target audience did not show up for this movie.
I mean, I did. But again, thank you AMC, because if I had to pay for it, there ain't no way I would have gone. As everybody on the show knows, I'm a huge.
Didn't they release this like on Hulu or something the same time?
No, this is only in theaters. Now the weird thing is, this movie has been finished. Apparently, this movie finished shooting before Eli Roth shot Thanksgiving. So this movie has been done and in the can for years.
Really?
Oh no.
And they shelved it. So I don't know why they didn't just put it to fucking streaming. So here's the other thing that I thought was interesting, because there's a lot of like weird like behind the scenes shit. Are you guys familiar? I don't. Sean I know is, but are you guys familiar with Alan Smithy, the legend of Alan Smithy?
I feel like I've heard the name, but I don't know what it's referencing.
Yeah. So basically, Alan Smithy is a fake name that directors that didn't want to put their name on a project would just use Alan Smithy. I was actually thinking about this today. That would be a fun month to do, just the Alan Smithy month. But like famously, Dune, David Lynch's Dune, is directed by Alan Smithy. So anyway, the Borderlands was originally written by the guy that wrote Chernobyl and Last of Us. I forget his name.
Chernobyl, the TV show?
Yeah.
No, the place.
Ah.
Yeah. So
you shouldn't write that event. That was bad.
He wrote the original script of this Borderlands movie, and then they hired Eli Roth, and Eli Roth apparently just rewrote the entire script, and then the original guy, whose name eludes me, and the reason I brought up Alan Smithy is his name is on this movie, but it's this new fake name. It's like David Crumbus or something ridiculous. But anyway,
sounds like I got a shot at punching that up.
So he wrote the script. Eli Roth came in, rewrote the entire script, and the guy was like, no, you take my name off this. Like, I don't want to be involved with this. This is not my movie. And so what makes this movie even worse is that presumably there was a better draft of this movie somewhere else, and Eli Roth was like, no, we need to change it to this. And it is the most soulless, just flat, boring-ass movie you will ever see. All the casting is bad. Like, all the casting is, like, it's so against type for all the characters, and I'm a huge, as you all know, I'm a huge Borderlands fan. I love that series. And all the characters are wrong, like, every single one of them, and they're, like, it's one of those things where it'd be one thing if he cast against type and then did something with it, like he was trying to make some kind of statement, but, like, he's not, and, like, Cate Blanchett's a great actress. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. But, like, I don't want to see her as, like, Star-Lord. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, I don't need to see, like, a 65-year-old woman, like, doing, like, pirouettes and, like, shooting a gun. It just looks ridiculous. And she looks bored and doesn't really care.
But you loved her as Hela, did you not?
Yeah, she's great. She doesn't do a lot of physicality in that movie, though. She's mostly, like, kind of posing a lot in that movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like she's not in, like, fist fights in that movie. At least not that I can remember.
I know she does a lot of sword things.
Also,
the Borderlands film is the kick-ass 2 of Double Dragon movies.
Yeah, and I think the thing is that with Thor Ragnarok's a good point of reference, because the big difference between that movie and Borderlands is that movie has a good director and good art direction. This movie is devoid of any of that. And it's crazy because Borderlands, it's a great looking game. It's a very expansive world, and this thing just looks flat and just bland. I hated it.
Would they have been better off just making a Into the Spider-Verse-esque cel-shaded animated movie?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Or if they, I kept thinking as I was watching it, I was like, they should have given this to somebody like, I don't know, somebody like crazy. Like, give it to somebody that would do something fun with it. Like, I always throw out, yeah, actually, or like, give it to the fucking Turbo Kid people. Like, that would have been fun. Yeah. Like, they know how to make like fun and violence together. Give them like a big budget. See what that would have been like. Like, Eli Roth like can't direct action. He certainly can't direct comedy because every joke in this falls so fucking flat, and he does it's like the easiest jokes and setups Eli Roth doesn't know how to pay off, right? Like, so the very beginning, Roland, played by Kevin Hart, who's like this super soldier guy, he breaks out Tiny Tina from jail, right? And it's literally kind of mimicking the Luke Skywalker rescuing Princess Leia from her cell or whatever. And Tina says something like, "My dad sent his shortest soldier." And like in a normal movie with a director that knows how to like pay off a joke visually, there would have been like, you would have seen Kevin Hart and assumed he was like a big guy. But then when she says that, they like show like a camera angle that shows he's actually almost as tall as this small child. And that's a funny joke. But what does Eli Roth do? Everything is just like flat, like 3/4 shot. It's like, what are you doing?
I can see the camera move. You just shoot it from his feet upwards, and then do a vertical and shoot downwards, and then that's your joke.
Yeah. How hard is that to figure out, dude? Like that. I mean, have you seen a movie, Eli Roth? Like I don't know. It's so bad.
Have you seen
and I knew it was going to be
movie?
bad. I knew it was going to be bad walking into it. I mean, it was, when I went and saw it Friday night, it had a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that that's the end all be all, but that is pretty bad. And I think now it's sitting at like a 5%. And people are saying it's worse than Madam Web. I would still say Madam Web is worse. Because Madam Web is not a movie. This is a movie. It's just an incompetent and boring movie. So yeah, Borderlands, absolute trash.
I like that it implies that Madam Web was not incompetent nor boring.
Well, no, but Madam Web, that made no fucking sense. Like, there was no, the plot made absolutely, Borderlands makes sense. It's just super boring, and cliche. The thing is, the villain is just this guy, and it's just cool, eat. They have to go to the vault.
I mean, we were talking about this, though. The first Borderlands is just, the plot of the original Borderlands game is super thin. That game is trading on its gameplay. The plot doesn't get good till 2, and that's probably what they should have focused on, because that's when everyone suddenly gave a shit about the lore.
Well, the lore was good in 2, and if you was like, TJ, make a Borderlands movie, I would just basically adapt 2.
You know what I mean? Telltale one not being bad.
The Telltale game was really good. Yeah, Telltale game was great, but I don't know. It really sucks.
Wasn't the Telltale game post 2?
Yes.
Yes. I think there were 2 Telltale games.
There was, I believe. It was Tales from the Borderlands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's real bad. And it's one of those things where, I don't know, anytime a movie like that comes out and everybody hates on it, and it's universally shit on, I'm like, maybe I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Maybe there's something in it that I'm gonna see that'll be like, I thought it was kind of cool. No.
Just a Morbius.
Well, but that's a good example, right? Everybody was kind of laughing with Morbius, and then we watched it and was like, oh, this sucks. It's not even fun to watch. It's not even fun bad, And again, we've watched enough shitty movies to know the difference, right? I get tired of arguing with normies. They're like, well, don't you like terrible movies? Well, no. There's a certain kind of terrible movie that I like. Venom 2. I mean, that is my kind of terrible movie. That movie is fucking hilarious. I love it. But, Morbius was watching paint dry.
I like movies that are bad where people tried really hard to make a good movie and didn't understand how to do it. Not that they were just phoning.
Yeah, I mean, Madam Web and Borderlands are just bad, and just there's no effort put into them at all.
While New York Ninja is excellent.
Oh yeah, New York Ninja fucking rules. And
well, if you're gonna fail with all your heart.
And Shauna like this. Gina Gershon for some reason, and her 70-year-old ass is Moxley, which is what are you doing?
Love me a Gina Gershon though.
And
love a prime Gershon.
Oh, come on. Absolutely.
I'll take a 70-year-old Gershon. I'm not ashamed of it.
Be confident she's sub 60.
What? I mean, whatever. If you're over 35 in Hollywood, you may as well be 150.
Oh no, she's a full-blown 62 and looking fine.
She looked fine. I don't know if that was the first actress that came to mind when I thought of Mad Moxie, but
they probably couldn't get Famke Janssen. She was busy.
Yeah, I said on on the TikTok. I said that this movie felt like a celebrity baseball tournament. It didn't feel like a movie. Like the actors they
Shout out to
got, it was
Rocket
like,
Jocko.
I was like, what the fuck is this movie? Anyway.
Roger McDowell, Handsome Jack.
Anyway, don't watch Borderlands. It sucks. We'll probably end up watching it on the show. I can definitely see it as a show movie. The other movie I watched is a little weird independent horror movie called Cuckoo, which I really liked. It's not perfect. It's a little wonky in the third act, but like, kind of like what Sean was talking about last week. I like ambitious swings, and this one's like real fucking weird. Like it's that weird cross section of like horror and sci-fi and like kind of like art house aesthetics. And I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Dan Stevens is in it, and he's playing like the most arch German scientist, and it fucking rules. Like every time he's on screen, he's like got that fucking just like stereotypical like evil German accent, and I couldn't get enough of it. Hunter Schafer's in it. She's great. I really liked it. It's full of like weird body horror stuff that they throw in there, and I don't know. Again, it's a fun, like, it's a little over an hour and a half. It's got a fun premise, and then when it's over, you're like, well, some of that didn't really make any sense, but I don't care. Like, I was in for the ride, you know. But that's another solid Neon film they put out. So good for Neon. Really liked Cuckoo. Solid movie, fun movie. Yeah. So Gogs.
I watched 2 2.5 things.
2 2.5 things.
So what do we watch?
Wait a second. Isn't 2 halves a whole?
They're 2 different halves.
Oh.
Right. Anywho, so easy. Like I just talked about this last week. I'm talking about it again because my kids are in a fucking rut, and I love it. We just keep watching Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like on heavy repeat in my house. Loving it. Still loving it. But then watch
the third one. Damn it.
Well, we're going to, because one of the half things I watched was Guardians 2. Still love that. A lot of fun. Okay. Rewatched all of Next Goal Wins because I was feeling like kind of like down in the dumps.
I still need to watch that.
See, that movie is like uplifting and just like happy. Like, so, if you want to feel better, strong recommend for Next Goal Wins. It's super good. And I just love all of the people from American Samoa, just like leaving it out there on the field. It's fun and heartwarming, strong feel good vibes. And then this is going to be a controversial take for the last half of the movie I watched.
Here we go. Let's go.
I watched actually probably watched 2/3, and I'm going to finish it up. I meant to finish it up today, but I didn't have a chance. I watched most of A Violent Nature, and I didn't hate it.
Oh, God, I did. I don't know. How did you stay awake?
I mean, it is like slow, but it's like, I think intentionally so, and it's like kind of like, I don't know. There's something about it that was kind of doing it for me. Like, I put it on and I expected to just be like completely turned off by it. And the sort of weird, quiet, like, I'm trying, like impending sort of, not dread, but just like, I don't know, the way it just keeps, I don't know. I did not hate it. So I'm going to see how it ends. Maybe it ends terrible, but so far I'm like kind of with it. So I know you did not care for it.
I did not. Now that one,
it was a real Wolverine.
You said that I hated. Yeah, no, I hated A Violent. I thought that was just utter garbage.
I don't know. Some of the kills are. Oh, there he goes.
What the hell's that?
He dropped a little note in the chat. He said, "If I drop out, I'll get back on."
Drop a little note.
Some of the kills are brutal in that movie.
I mean, yeah.
And like, I don't know, just kind of like, it's not like It Follows, but it's like you're just there the whole time. Just like, there's no jump scares, right? So you just kind of and I don't like jump scares. Like, it's just like,
I hate jump scares.
It's like just sort of force of nature, like just nonsense.
But you don't give a shit about any of the characters. The characters
No,
are non-existent.
No, they're fodder. They are. But you're not supposed to, right? Like,
Well, then what are you supposed to care about?
Well,
There's nothing to care about in the movie.
Well, I think it's just I think it's kind of interesting to be there from the perspective of a guy who is just experiencing. Like, it's interesting to experience all the stuff he hears. He's basically just getting audio logs from BioShock, because
like I said before, the problem is that you don't like it. It's not from his perspective, because you're constantly like the very first guy he comes across, right? You can hear him talking to the cop that's like a quarter mile away from that guy, but it's like perfectly clear. It's like he wouldn't be able to hear that. Like, why can he hear that? That's my.
I mean, he does observe. He is in every scene where anything happens, so he observes everything that does happen.
Right, but it's not from his perspective. It's
more like it's
supposed to be.
They kind of shot it like they were making a Resident Evil game, where every once in a while it's like it's over his shoulder, but then every once in a while it's a fixed position in the corner of a room. But
a good way to put it.
I don't know. So far, I'm not hating it, so we'll see how that goes. And now I can't turn it to Sean because Sean not here no more. So I guess we should talk about Delicatessen.
Yeah, let's talk about Delicatessen.
Oh, wait, pause. I paused myself.
I like that you paused yourself.
I immediately interrupted myself. Have I told you about Patti LaPelle? Have you seen that website?
Excuse me? No.
There's a website called Patti LaPelle, and they have a Dunkachino throw blanket, but they also sell a pin of Nicole Kidman at the AMC thing, like with the shining lights behind her. Like they have a pin of her.
You gotta send me the link to that. I need that.
So
I think I sent you guys there's like the only way I can describe them is like 90s like hip hop shirts where it's like a picture, but then it's like the like big font. Like somebody made like the Nicole Kidman one like that, and I wanted to buy it, and they sold out of it like immediately. I was like, damn.
Yeah. So here
I don't think anyone enjoys that stupid Nicole Kidman bumper as much as I do. Every time I see it, every week, I get a little chuckle. It's always makes me laugh.
They have insane references on here. Like they've got like a pin that looks like the amateur sketch of the Leprechaun. Like he looked like a leprechaun to me.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So anyway, I'll send that to the group chat, and then we can talk about
I'm all about that.
So, and here we are.
So Gogs, what happened in Delicatessen?
What doesn't happen in Delicatessen? We are the movie opens. And
now, I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt you immediately. Have you seen this before?
I thought I had. It turns out I had not.
Okay.
I thought I had watched this movie. I think I got it mixed. I think I had every intention to watch it earlier in life, and I think I just had its aesthetic mixed up with The City of Lost Children. And
which is very. I mean, the guy has a very identifiable visual style. And I'd say City of Lost Children is very similar to this.
And to a lesser extent, Alien Resurrection, which also stars our main character.
Oh yeah, he is in that. I forget
he's
in
the wheelchair,
scientist, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's right.
He's like the tech guy. That's part of him and Ron Perlman are hanging out.
I was when I was younger, before Alien Resurrection came out, I was so excited because Anthony and I had just watched City of Lost Children. And we're like, that guy's going to make an Alien movie. It's going to be sick. And yet we didn't say it was sick back then. But yeah, so disappointed in that fucking movie.
So anyway, welcome back.
Hey.
So anyway, Delicatessen.
We're talking about Delicatessen now.
Oh.
A world where the movie opens with a man dressing himself up like garbage. Or as they say in France, garbage, so that he can escape this lone little 4-story apartment building that is surviving post-apocalypse. It still has lights, it still has water, but he's trying to get out because why is he trying to get out? Because on the ground floor lives a mad butcher, and he turns handymen into handy meats. and serves it to the people that live in the tower because they trade their lentils to him because lentils are the only form of currency because maybe some sort of alien has come to Earth and eats seeds and all plants. So people are subsisting.
It's not really clear. They only talk about it briefly in the movie.
They have like a "Hey Bastard" moment where they're looking at like a World War II propaganda poster of like maybe an alien. So all the residents in the building trade their lentils or their genitals for meats of handymen. So now the handyman has been eaten, and now it's time for the cycle to start anew. So they put out, in this post-apocalypse, there's still want ads. And who comes to answer the want ad but our protagonist, Louisiana, or Luzone, or whatever hell his name is.
Louiton? Oh, go ahead.
Louiton, yes, Sean.
I forgot about this feature already.
To break decorum, but like I'm gonna keep dropping out. Can I just do my bit and then get off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like this came out like 91, so I probably didn't see it till like 96 or 97 when we all became like baby film bros, and I probably saw it and feel the same way about it that I feel about like Run Lola Run. Like I was really into it because it was different, and watching it this time, while I recognize it's good, just didn't connect with me in the same way. Like it's a little shrill. I don't know. Just like I didn't love it. It's like a 6 for me.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like that it's a Black President Huey Freeman episode of the Boondocks where it's like, oh, you should love Obama, you love XYZ, and I'm just like, eh. And it's like this motherfucker said, eh. But I think it's a gorgeous movie. I think aesthetically it's really good. It just didn't hit for me the same way, but I'm gonna drop out again probably. So I love you guys.
Okay.
Love you, buddy. From your lips to Gog's ears. Anyway, so now to go back to how insane this movie is, they ate their last superintendent, so he puts out a want ad, and a retired circus clown has decided to answer the call because his monkey assistant has also been eaten recently, and now he needs.
I know we're gonna get into it a little later, but I love the point in the movie where the daughter or whatever, she thinks Dr. Livingston was a man, and she's like, oh my god, like he's experienced this. And when you find out Dr. Livingston was a monkey, that's a fun little moment in the movie.
It's a good reveal.
Great. Yeah.
So then like the movie continues, and there's just a bunch of weird. It really is. It's almost like a French absurdist post-apocalyptic Four Rooms in a lot of ways.
It's very like old, like almost like a silent movie. It's like an old comedy, like very like Charlie Chaplin-y. Because there's a lot of gags in this movie. Like it's a lot of like.
Yeah, there's a lot of prop comedy. Yes, Alec.
This reminded me of Mr. Bean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, totally.
And that's not necessarily a good thing.
That's fair. A lot of physical comedy.
Excuse me. That's a terrible Mr. Bean.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Nah, that was real bad. I know my limit. I shouldn't even try it.
Well, the movie, like you say, the movie is just it's a whole bunch of like scenes. Is this whole weird hodgepodge? There's a family of 4 with 2 kids that like to steal panties. There's a woman who has sex with a butcher.
No, the best is the first time you see this kids, they're fucking smoking.
Yeah,
like 8
I
years
assume
old
all French children are born with cigarettes.
It's very, I don't know why, but like, it's just fucking hilarious to me to watch a child smoke a cigarette. And like now, that's one of those things like, there ain't no way. Like, even you do that nowadays. Like, even in French movies, I don't think they do it nowadays.
Even the French wouldn't stoop so low. Well, they should remake it and the kids just putting in lip pillows or whatever they call them nowadays.
Yeah. Upper deck and lower deck.
Zinners. Yeah. So anywho, like the geography of this building doesn't make a ton of sense because there's a man who lives somewhere in the building who's turned his house into a swamp full of frogs and
my
snails.
favorite character, the frog guy. And he like at one point I think he feels like he's become a frog because he has like frog eyes and he has like a what do you call those, like party favors?
Yeah, he catches a fly with one of those like whippledews or whatever, those little paper things.
Also, like, I don't know how you guys feel, but when I saw that scene, every time they go back to the Frogman's apartment, can you imagine like how awful that must have been to shoot those scenes? Just that wet room with all those
and just
frogs.
That pile of snail shells. And do snails just take zero resources to create? Like, I don't understand.
Well, I think they eat like I think I could be wrong. I think snails are one of those things that are like asexual. I think they can like that's not the right word, right? They can like self-reproduce.
Yeah. Well, right, but like conservation of matter almost demands that they eat something. Like, so
I think they can eat like scum and stuff like shit on the water. Well, so the ecology of like all those frogs, they probably eat like the frog shit.
He just lives in a terrarium. Algae. Thank you. Algae's just scientific scum.
My favorite tight end from the late '90s, Algae Crumpler.
Hell yeah.
So there's a mailman who comes by every once in a while with a pistol and talk of the underground and wanting to know when the new guy's going to get
that guy's an important character. That guy is the postman.
Right, the postman.
Yeah, which I think is cool because like I love when the daughter gets that package and there's like this big like scrum, like the postman is like the de facto police in this.
Yeah, there's two gentlemen who make sound boxes in their wood shop / apartment. There's a couple where the one woman is just trying to end herself in the silliest mousetrap-esque ways possible.
What's that Rube Goldberg or whatever?
Rube Goldberg machine. And one time she tries to bat for the site. Towards the end, she's got a gun pointed at her. She's got gas that's going to explode. She's about to eat a fistful of pills and hang herself.
And you forgot that one of the brothers that you just talked about, she casually says that one of the first times you see her that she's hearing voices, and the one brother is giving her the voices through the pipes in the wall, and the other brother is trying to fuck her. It's
right. They're just gaslighting her into.
I don't know if you can tell my elation, but there is a glaive later on.
Yeah, you're talking about the Australian. Yeah. The pocket knife that makes zero sense. That the circus clown can throw in return.
Picking apart the logic in this movie?
No, I'm not picking about shit. There's a whole group of sewer dwellers. So anyways, the daughter of the butcher lives there. She effectively falls in love with our main character, who is just a charming idiot who's good enough at painting ceilings while tied to a wall with his own suspenders. The butcher bangs the only hot chick in the whole building for meat purposes. There's a big old mix-up.
I find that woman very attractive.
Well, you would be correct.
That woman is very like classically. You know, she has like that kind of like 50s. Like
got that aesthetic.
She's a little thick. I like that.
Yeah. So very, very heavy set apocalypse. Actually,
the butcher refers to her. What does he call her tits? He's like utter.
Yeah,
something real like tits.
The butcher's a real man's man. Anyway, this guy. So the daughter of the butcher, the daughter of the butcher basically falls in love with the clown man, but she like accidentally like sleep poisons him one time and can't tell him what's going on. There's chaos ensues. Eventually,
the daughter is like, I mean, I really feel like the movie. I think the movie is very interesting on a moral level because. Luis or whatever, the main character, the clown guy. At one point, he's not even upset that the people killed his partner, the monkey, because he's like, I love the line where he's like, well, nobody's evil. There's always, nobody's pure evil. There's like circumstances, right? And I think that's like, I think this movie is actually, for as silly and goofy as it is, I think there's like a lot of heart to this movie. I think that's what I like about it.
That strikes a chord with the Butcher for a minute there too. And he almost like kind of like comes around, and then
as crazy as this movie gets, like even like the wife of the family with the two kids, like, you know, she's not like, she's at the end of the day she's trying to survive, right? Like she's not like, none of the people in this are like absolutely horrendous. Possibly the suicide woman's husband, I don't know, but.
Yeah, that guy. Well,
you don't really know much about him. Like, he doesn't really, that he's just awful to be around because she constantly wants to kill herself.
Well, I thought she did because of the voices.
Well, I think is it because, well, yeah, I guess it is.
Because the one brother flips out on him because of.
Yeah, for real,
him doing the voices, right? So, anywho.
Good one.
So the daughter wants to rebel. The daughter wants to rebel against her butcher dad, and she doesn't eat the meat. So I don't know how she survives. I guess just on sweets brought by the postman. She eventually makes her way to the literal and figurative underground. Where
I also love that, right? Like, I love the fact that like the underground resistance literally lives underground. I
believe they are also hunted for sport and meat, and they are all vegetarians, if memory serves. And
also Louiton or whatever, he also says in the beginning of the movie that he doesn't eat meat. He says he does, yeah. So I think it's implied. I mean, not explicitly, but it's implied that because they say
at this point any meat is
right, because they say throughout the movie, like, I think the butcher says like there's no more rats. Like, I think they imply that there are no more animals left in the world. So if you eat meat, you are explicitly eating human meat.
So with that being said,
I got a guy.
Like the guy, like he shows up.
Got a human meat guy.
He goes, you got a guy for that? You got a human meat guy? So I guess that does paint an interesting picture, because he then voluntarily shows up to be a handyman at a cannibal factory. Presumably. But anywho, an old lady gets eaten, another man's leg gets hacked off, and through a mishap of circumstance. Eventually, the underground decides that they're going to pull an Ocean's 11, an Ocean's 11, and they want to steal all of the lentils from the butcher's.
You've been sitting on that.
I just made it up, honestly.
Oh, that's fantastic, dude.
And so they collaborate with the daughter, and they give her a coffee grinder radio, and then mid-caper, all hell literally breaks loose as everyone decides that now is the time to eat the janitor. Also, the woman that's going to kill herself manages to explode her part of the building.
Well, we also forgot that the underground people kidnapped the wrong person. They
kidnapped Letitz.
Right. It's funny because if you can't tell by the smile in my voice over this movie, I really enjoy this movie a lot. But I love when the fucking underground people take the hot woman underground, and then they like, it was supposed to be a man, and then they're like arguing about it. They're like, well, we don't know what
stole was like, he was like, as in maybe she's wearing clown shoes. It's like, come on. Right. This is very clearly not the right person.
Also hilarious that the main character wears literal clown shoes throughout the whole movie. So
yeah, it's a fun time. So anywho, in the third act, in the third act, everyone's getting together to watch. So throughout the movie, Luzon is showing off his whipsawing abilities. He's showing off his dancing, his clowning, his ability to make a Steve Martin-esque meat cleaver in the head scenario for his new routine he's working on. And then somehow in this apocalypse, there's still TV, and they get word through the newspaper that Luzon and Livingston will be on the TV tonight. So the whole building's getting ready to tune in to watch the janitor clown do his thing. Meanwhile, the butcher is on the roof trying to make sure that no one sees it by destroying the aerial antenna.
Right.
This leads to a big fight. The woman tries to kill herself, explodes the building because she doesn't do that successfully. Meanwhile, the heist is happening, but the heist is going poorly. Everyone's trying to...
I also think that him going to the roof, fucking with the antenna, will cause the clown guy to go up on the roof. So I think he was trying to get him up there.
Oh, he's trying to lure him.
Yeah.
Right. So then, the building hasn't exploded yet because they get chased through the building. It's time to eat the janitor. They hide in a bathroom with the daughter, and they flood the place. They stuff the place. They plug it. Excellent construction in post-apocalyptic France because they made a watertight bathroom using just a regular door and some t-shirts. Yeah, and then they flood the whole place out. The door comes crashing in, washes everyone out. The building explodes. At the end of the day, the butcher is, being a real prick about it, and he boomerangs himself.
So the glaive that Sean was talking about earlier, earlier in the movie, the clown guy, he knocks down some panties from a light post outside the window, but he explains that, the tool is only as good as its master. So later on, the butcher just throws it thinking it's a regular knife, and his what's the line from The Simpsons? This thing totally boomeranged on us.
Your throwing stick, stick on this boomeranged on us.
But yeah, it sticks right in his head.
It brains him. I believe the postman gets it, but I forget how he dies. I watched this early last week.
The postman, how does the postman get it? I don't know if he dies, but he gets taken out by the underground people.
By the underground people, right?
He kills the fat. He shoots
the fat
guy.
one, right? And because once again, the underground people, I believe, are being hunted for sport as well.
Also, how would anybody get fat in this post-apocalypse?
They pulled it off. And then that's it. Then everyone lives happily ever after in the Delicatessen building, presumably eating lentils and no longer eating each other.
The cycle has been broken.
And they play whipsaw and cello on the roof, and we are reminded of simpler times.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna try not to just glaze this movie too much, but I love the scene where the butcher is having sex with a woman, and then there's all these things happening to the beat of the springs.
To the rhythm.
It's very musical. It's like a rhythmic scene. I thought that was so clever. I don't know. I feel like, earlier we were talking about movies that have zero passion and no vision. And this seems like all passion and all vision. This is a very wholly unique film. I don't think I've ever, besides his movies, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It is bananas. It probably wouldn't get made today. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what France is doing. France had Gojira opening.
I mean, he's still making movies. He's still out there.
Has he made anything recently?
He made some movie that's called Big Bug that's on Netflix, and it looks real bad because unfortunately it looks like it's very CGI heavy, which is super disappointing that he went to CGI. But I don't know.
I never saw Amelie.
Oh, it's great.
You should. It's much better. It's much better than this.
You burnt this. You burnt Delicatessen.
I mean,
Big Bug is on Netflix, and he put it out in 2022. But it looks very, and it's sci-fi, but it looks. Maybe I'll watch it, but not very good reviews.
Alec, I'm gonna steal TJ's bit. As a man who knows his way around a retail establishment, was your favorite part of the film the transactions?
Oh, there were transactions. There were very few.
My favorite part of the film was his ability to maintain his knives.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
future, because my meat cutters can't do that now in a non-post-apocalyptic future. Yet his knives looked perfect. No dents, no dings. He was even using the what's the other, the steel stick.
The honing steel.
Yeah, he was even using that properly.
Well,
Some thought went into his knife work.
He loved his cleavers. He needed his cleavers. He called for them.
Very important.
I really did not like that this movie feels like not visually, but the way it was shot, it looks like it was shot to be a show.
Mm.
Like you know what I mean? It had that it's
like
weird.
the show, like a stage show or like a TV show?
No, like a TV show. Just like the lighting. I don't know. I feel like it had a weird,
like a yellow filter on everything.
Kind of, and like how British TV shows look, like kind of washed out a little bit. It kind of looked like that. That might have just been like how the cameras were in France in the early '90s.
I could see that. I mean, it has kind of like like an older pastiche, you know what I mean? Anyway, like I think it's going for like a, you know what I mean, with like the black and white TV. Everything is kind of like tinged like brown and yellow. You know what I mean? It's very like drab and old looking.
It reminded me of that show, Are You Being Served? The way that would look, like kind of, everything's kind of just old, probably because it's all on a actual film, and they're just re-showing that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I thought this movie I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. But it's not the movie's fault. I thought of this the whole time. I was just thinking of Amelie, and like I love Amelie.
Amelie's great. Yeah, I love
Amelie. Like that's what I was saying a few minutes ago, Gogs. Like this is like fine. Amelie is like a masterpiece.
What is Amelie about?
Really nothing. It's kind of whimsical. It's about a girl who, but she falls in love and then the guy runs away and then she helps an old blind man find love or something. But it's very whimsical, and there's lots of like, you're seeing things in her head and like through her eyes, how she sees the world in this weird, like flowery, vision.
Mm-hmm.
Amelie actually kind of reminds me of, and not the tone of the movie or at all, of Run Lola Run, the way you kind of see everything through her eyes.
I could definitely see that.
And Run Lola Run fucking rocks too.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that. I haven't watched that in years.
It's a banger.
I remember really liking it.
But Amelie's it's not fair, but Amelie's like one of the best movies like ever made.
Wow.
Like this is not one of the best movies ever made.
High praise.
I would say I like Amelie's in like all those lists, like
it's very good. Yeah,
50
I like
movies, like top 50 movies ever made or stuff like that. Like it always comes up.
It's on the Plex too, Gogs. I think I put everything he made on here because I was in a mood to watch his other stuff. City of Lost Children I really like too. I like all of his movies. Well, at least the ones I've seen. Anthony told me I need to watch some movie called like Micmacs or something. I haven't seen that. I need to watch that. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, sometimes it's tough. I mean, this is his first film, so you know what I mean. Like, I'm sure that you notice like there's a lot of visual similarities between this and Amelie, but like he's more refined. You know what I mean? Like he's already made a bunch of stuff by the time Amelie comes out, and also like I think the thing that really worked in Amelie's favor a lot for him as a filmmaker is that was the movie he made directly after Alien. So like that was a disaster, and then he had to get back in his comfort zone and he made like his best movie. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty impressive.
Are there any pigs in Amelie?
I think so.
No.
Could have looked up what pig is in French. Anything else you want to talk about before we get to 5 knuckle shuffles? All right. Alec, why not?
I'm going to echo Sean. I'm going to give it a 6. It was good, and I could see why people like it. It just didn't quite do it for me. And it's probably no fault of his own, because as soon as I found out it was directed by the same guy who directed Amelie, I was waiting for, like, Amelie. And this has some of that, like, level of,
there's
like,
definitely
this has some of that
similarities.
level of, like, magic and whimsy to it, but not to the same level. And it's not meant to be, and I understand that. It's just, it's probably my own fault for giving it this score, because of just how I mentally approached the movie. But I'm gonna give it a 6.
Fair.
It definitely had some fun parts. I like the part where the screen or the camera was like inside the TV.
Yeah, I like
looking out at the people. You could see what was on the TV also. I thought that was neat, and some neat shots like that. But also, like, anytime they showed all those mole people, I was like, oh my God, like, can we please just stop?
Oh, I
with
like
all their ridiculous noises and French noises and French faces.
Like, all their weird, and all their weird names. Like,
Le Poy, Le Juan.
Fox. Like, it's always like super French names and then a guy named Fox. Like,
so I'm gonna give it a 6. Guns.
I'm gonna give it an 8. It's just because it's a weird big swing, and it's well made, and it's like, I don't know, it's like it's getting a lot of points for being unlike anything I've ever seen, and it's wild to see something that has such a dark premise done with such whimsy, and like making it like sort of like a playful. It's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's playful. So like, do with that what you will. I don't know. It's just so fucking strange that it's like it's like a platypus. Like, it elevates it a little bit. I think it's shot beautifully. I think it's well acted. You're right. It's French as fuck. It's in the post-apocalypse.
Possibly the most French thing ever made.
It is super French, but it's a post-apocalyptic movie. I love those. It's a good time. Am I going to revisit it a lot? I don't know. I'll probably go back to it every once in a while. The Butcher's kind of fun and like a arch, like big boss way. So like, it's, and this being my first viewing, I'm kind of with it. I get why people would latch onto it as like a film bro-y kind of way, but I'm kind of like, all right, I appreciate the craft. I appreciate what's going on here. It's something unlike anything I've ever seen. So 8, TJ.
It's a 9 for me, dog. I love this movie. I think this movie's great. I don't know. There's something about the old timiness of the structure of the jokes that really work for me. I don't know why. I mean, I do like old, like, Charlie Chaplin movies, but like, I just, there's something that's just really, it's so odd. Like, the way things are structured in this movie. And it's one of those things too where the visuals and the direction and the editing, everything works together, right? Like, the writing is super, like, you couldn't, if you took one of those elements out of this movie, like if you had someone else direct this on this script, they would have done something completely different and it wouldn't work. And like you just said, Gogs, like, the storyline is very dark, but like, I don't think it's like a dark movie. Like, it's not like a gruesome film. You know what I mean? Like, it's very like cartoony almost. Like, it's like a Looney Tune. And the Butcher himself is like an evil person, but like, he's kind of silly. I mean, the opening sequence I think is so great, where the guy's like dressing himself up like fucking trash, and he's got that like trash suit, and it's just like, I love the shots of him in the garbage can, and then like, it's like it's a great little, the open is like a great little silent, or a great little short film, right? Cause like, he's, trying to get out, and he gets to he has a plan, he gets to the garbage can, and then he hears himself rustling around, and he's like, okay, I'm out. And then he opens the can, and the Butcher hits him in the head with the fucking cleaver, and then credits. Like, so great. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. I just am so impressed by a movie like this that's so meticulously made, and so, like, of its, again, there's nothing like this movie. It's so different that I think that's why it stands the test of time. This movie's very old. It came out in 1991, for God's sakes. Yeah, I love it. I think this movie is fantastic. I'm a huge fan. I agree with Alec. I don't think it's his best work. Actually, out of Amelie, this, and City of Lost Children, it's the third best out of those three movies in my opinion, but I still love it. Like, I think it's great. But I think Amelie and City of Lost Children are 10s. So it's a very close race, you know what I mean? Like, I love this movie. I think this movie is phenomenal. So yeah, it's a 10 for me, dog. I have a pick for next week, unless somebody else wants to supersede my pick. I am going to pick a movie I've already watched, but I feel like maybe I watched it in a bad mood, so maybe I'll like it this time. I'm going to pick Nicolas Cage in Pig, which came out last year, or 2 years ago, I think. He plays like he plays a guy that his pig is stolen, and then he goes on like a rampage to save his pig. It's about like underground culinary experts. It's very interesting. I don't know. I remember not liking it, but it's the classic TJ move of, I don't remember why I didn't like it, so I'd like to revisit it and, you know, dissect that.
It's got old boy from Hereditary in it.
Yes, Alex Fox.
Wolf.
Wolf.
Close.
I knew it was some animal.
Some sort of varmint.
Yeah. So yeah, next week, Nicolas Cage's Pig, which I think is already on the Plex, but I will double check.
I am Pigman. Oink oink.
Oh man, I wish Tommy Wiseau made Pigman. We could watch that. I am Pigman. Oink. Oink. I remember that's the only exposure you had to Tommy Wiseau when I took you to see The Room.
Yeah, that was it. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
How much I've learned.
All right, everybody. Alec, you got anything to plug?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see y'all next week. And I'm looking for. None of y'all saw Pig, right? I was the only one that watched it.
No. Yeah, I did not.
Anyway, I can sneak in more Nicolas Cage movies into the show. So,
You know what? Let's do it.
All right. See everybody. Oh, P.S. Anthony sucks. He didn't like long legs, so he sucks. Terrible opinion. Trash opinion. So, former friend of the show, Anthony.
Revoked.
Fuck
now
that
we're
dude.
down to one.
We're gonna change the name of the show to the Fuck Anthony Show.
Nate, watch your back, buddy.
No
Anthony Show. And we gotta have one guy named, well, you got Anthony. Oh, that joke is always funny to me. It's the No Homers Club.
Homers Club.
No Homers. All right, bye everybody.
Good night, boys.
Bye bye.